Okay, so now that we have worked with modeling why combining like terms works and what those are, we're going to take some notes on just basic combining like terms and take a look at it mathematically. So we modeled it, we've touched it, now we want to take it and put it mentally into our heads. So the number that is being multiplied by the variable, we call this the coefficient. And this is telling me how many x's I have. So if x happens to be 4, how many of those 4s do I have? And that's going to be, in this case, I would have 4 of those 4s, so I would have 16 because I'm going to multiply them times each other. Or say that we found out that we wanted to evaluate for x equals 10. Well, then I have 4 10s, which means 4 times 10, which is 40. So that coefficient is the number that's being multiplied by the variable. And the number that is added to the variable, this 9 here, that is called the constant. Because 9 is 9 is 9, and 2 is always 2, and 3 is always 3. So they're constant. They never change. Now, terms can either be a single number, like a constant, or they can be a coefficient and a variable together. You might also see where there's, a variable to a power or a number to a power, but this is a single term. So as soon as you see an operational sign that is, for instance, in this case, an adding sign, these are separate terms. So terms are either a single number or variable. So it could be like just the 9 or just the x by itself. Or it can be a combination of several numbers or variables separated from one another by a plus or minus sign in an expression. Say addition or subtraction there as well as plus and minus. But example, this one has 5 terms. We have 7x plus 8y plus 14x plus 8y plus 18. It would have been the same if they were subtraction signs in there instead of addition signs. So you can see that these are separated out terms. We have a constant. We have some working with the variable. We could even throw one out here that's just z all by itself. That would be another term, so we'd end up with 6. So let's look down here. I want you to pause for a moment, and I want you to try to figure out how many terms do each of these expressions have. So I want you to go through and count them and then turn it back on and see if you got the same answer as I did. So I found that here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one has 4 terms. And my next one down here has 1, 2, 3. So it has 3 terms. Now, we talked about like terms in class. You notice that we were able to separate them out by color. So like terms are going to have that same color, but I also can think about as having the same variable, or it could be the absence of a variable as well. So variable or variables, and they've got to be to the same power. So, for instance, all x's can be combined with x's, all y's can be combined with y's, but an x squared is not the same thing as an x, or a y to the third is not the same thing as a y. So I cannot combine those. Those would not be like terms. In the same way that x is not the same thing as a 2. These are also not like terms. So how many types of terms do each, there's an extra t there, isn't there, do each of these expressions have? So if I look at these, the different types of terms, well, right here, this one has an x, so I have 7 x's there. I have another one with x's, so I have 14 x's there. Now I also have terms with y's, and I have some there. Now notice I'm taking that addition or subtraction sign in front of it to help me remember if it's a positive or negative term. It's just a good habit to get into. You'll also notice that I modeled 2 different things here. I can either identify these with different colors or with different shapes, and I did both at the same time. I did green rectangles and purple circles. Now you could do just colors and you could underline and look for colors. You could do just shapes if you just have your pencil with you, or just one pen and not different colors. But those are different ways to help you kind of keep track as we are combining these like terms. So in this case, I have two different types of terms. I have x's and I have y's. I don't have any constants. Remember, constants are just the number all by itself. I've always got a coefficient with a variable. In this one right here, I've got 7 positive x's, 3 negative x's, and then I've got, I'll use a pink triangle there, I've got a constant. So in this case, I still have two different types of terms, only in this time, instead of x's and y's and their coefficients, I have a constant there as well. So once again, I've added a shape, triangles, and I made it pink. So that's up to you how you want to identify those. So that's what's going to talk about right here again. It's optional. Put shapes around the different terms, using the same shape so that you know that you can combine those and you don't lose any. Also, make sure you include the positive or negative sign to the left of each term inside the shape. And all operations, numbers, and variables should be in shapes when you finish this step. You could also, like I said, use colors. So if you prefer to use colors, that's totally fine. I will actually model both. I will show just colors, I will show just shapes, and I will show the combination of them. So you can kind of get a feel for what you think might work best for you visually to help you make sure that you don't miss any like terms. So in this first one right here, I will demonstrate just colors. As above, I demonstrated colors and shapes. Actually, let's stay with that. We'll go colors and shapes. So I've got 7 x's here and 14 x's and 8 y's and 8 y's. Now everything in here is positive, so I just need to add them up. Well, if I had 7 x's and I got 14 more x's, that means I have a total of 21 x's. And I had 8 y's and I got 8 more, so I have a total of 16 y terms. So that means, remember what we were looking at up there, if x happens to be 10, I need 7 of those. And so that's why I multiply that. Well, if I needed 7 of those and then I needed 14 more of those, I need 21 total. So that's why I'm able to combine those, because I'm adding them together. Over here, I'll go one time just shapes and one time just colors, and I will start with colors. So if I was doing x's, I would say x's and x's, so those are the same color. And there's my constant, and then I say to myself, oh look, those are the same color, I can add those. And my constant down there, I can't combine it with anything, but I can't lose it either. So I need to make sure that it comes down. This one I'm going to do just shape, so you can kind of see what that looks like if you just had your pencil. So my rectangle there, now look, this has a subtraction sign in front of it. I'm going to make sure I include that subtraction sign. And then down here I've got my constants, which I was putting in triangles. So I can see that I have 7 x's, but then I took away 3 of them. So I have a total of 4 x's left. And here I had a positive 4, but I'm taking away 12. So we know 4 minus 12. So you can think of it that way. And you're like, oh, I would go past the 0 on the number line. That means it's going to be negative. I could also think of it as 4 plus a negative 12. But either way, I'm going to end up subtracting 8. I could also write it like this. But you are traditionally going to see it written like this, especially when you head into 8th grade math and algebra. They're not going to write it like that anymore. This was just a way to help you realize how subtracting a positive, if I go past, is the same thing as adding a negative. And so you can always combine negatives as well. On my next one here, it says put all terms that are like in a column. So this is another thing I can do. Instead of being able just to go side to side, I can put them up and down. So I can put my 7x here, my 14x here. You could also flip-flop those if you prefer to put the bigger number on top. And I could also see from here that that's 21x. I could see that this is a positive 16y. I just did that in the wrong color. Sorry about that for my color people. And because it's positive, I'm going to be adding them together. I'm going to go back. I'm a color person. And I also do shapes. So I do kind of both. To get my answers and to simplify things out. So over here, that final answer on that first one, which we had already kind of found up there looking at that. Over here on these examples, I'm going to go through and color code, and I'm going to put rectangles around. And I want you to pause this video, and I want you to see if you can find them all. Then turn it back on and see if you agree. I always put alphabetically, so X comes before Y. So I know this is one that I need, and this is one that I need, and this is one that I need. If I wanted to line these up, I could say 14x and x, and I'm adding those together, which gives me 15x. Remember, there's that 1 here that we just don't write. Now I then had a negative 12x, which means I'm down to 3 x's. I have a negative 5y and negative 4y, so since I have two negatives, I'm going to combine those first and get negative 9y. Then I'm going to add in my 3y, and if I'm at negative 9, I add 3. I'm now at negative 6, so negative 6y. Now I've got 7 plus 9, which is 16. And it's a positive 16, so I put plus 16. So here is my final answer. My next one here, pause, try it out, turn it back on. I am going to add in a different color here, and I'm just going to underline. This one has got an exponent. And this one has got an exponent. And then I have just a regular old x and just a regular old y term. Now the catch to this one is I can't combine any of those. None of them can be combined because a y squared is not the same thing as a y, and it's definitely not the same thing as an x squared or an x. So I can't combine those. Can't combine these either because that's an x squared term and that's an x. Now what I can do is I can put them in alphabetical order, and I want to also do that with the highest power first. So I'm going to put 2x squared first. Then I'm going to put my plus 3y squared because it's positive. Then plus x, then plus 3y. So I couldn't combine anything there, but I did rearrange them. For my next question here, I'm talking about a rectangle. And anytime I'm talking about a shape, I'm going to draw it, and I'm going to label it. So it tells me it has length x, and then it says the width of the rectangle is 4 more than 2 times the length. So 4 more than means I'm going to add 4. 2 times the length means 2 times x, or if you wanted to, you could call it the fancy L for length, because that is something that we've used in our formulas before for finding lengths of rectangles and such. It says find the perimeter of the rectangle. Well, to find the perimeter, I would do length plus width, also known as 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So my length here, I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to change that out. But my width, I've got 4 more than 2 times, so 4 more than, remember that's going to put it second from our I have, who has, and my 2L will go in front. So I now have 2 times the length plus 2 times the length plus 4 plus 2 times the length plus 4. So I can add all of these together, and I get 6L plus 8. So my perimeter is equal to 6 times the length plus 8. I hope that was helpful, and I hope you're enjoying doing the notes at home. Let me know if you have any questions tomorrow when you come in.